A war is coming that will span universes, and the only people who can turn the tide of destruction are some of the most savage beings there are. All this and more in the pages of Conan Serpent War issue number 1. Let's hop on in together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as this long-awaited crossover event begins, we are actually introduced to a very obscure deep-cut piece of Conan mythology. You see, there's this writer by the name of James Allison. He lives in Texas, he's bedridden now, quite possibly on his deathbed, but in his fever dreams he sees past lives, wherein he was amazing heroes and had stellar adventures, whether it be in the gladiatorial pits of Rome, or battling ancient Picts in the New World as a Viking raider. This writer's name is James Allison, and basically he's an in-universe insert for Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan the Barbarian and several other wildly popular pulp heroes who we're going to see in this story. Allison thinks back to one particular chapter from his many lives wherein he did battle with a horrifying snake monster. The locals had a name for it, but its true name was Set. As in the ancient Egyptian god Set. It seems this horrifying snake monster is ready to make a return, and Allison hopes to stop him by recruiting heroes from across the universe. Well, actually across many universes. First on the docket is Moon Knight. After all, Khonshu and Set were ancient rivals back in Egypt, and what better way to slay a monster than with a knight on your side? Now naturally, Khonshu isn't the helping type, not always, but he does allow Mark Spector to join this crusade, if only to stick it to Set. Now that's 1 down and 3 to go. Next up on the recruitment drive is Solomon Kane, the somber Puritan paladin. Armed with his rapier and flintlock, he fights the supernatural and everything in between. Currently, he's dealing with a bridge wherein a bunch of people have gone missing, and wouldn't you just know it, at the heart of this problem is more snakes. Hey, so far this team is shaping up to be pretty damn cool, but it is a little bit of a sausage fest. Did Robert E. Howard write any female characters? Well, in fact, he did. Might I introduce you to Agnes De Castille, or as she is more commonly referred to as Dark Agnes. As we pop into one of her stories, she's doing battle with a bunch of assassins. She makes quick work of them, no doubt thinking to herself that she was actually the inspiration for Red Sonja. Agnes doesn't get to celebrate very long though, because as she returns to town, it seems that everyone has gone snake crazy there as well. Whatever Set's evil powers are, it's clear that they're bleeding over into other universes, not just the main Marvel one. Now you might be wondering to yourself, hey, what about Conan the Barbarian? Isn't his name on the title? Well, it certainly is, and as we find him, he's waking up from another drunken stupor. So, you know, day that ends in Y when you're Conan. Our favorite barbarian has a long and storied history with fighting snake worshippers, and it almost never ends well for him. Thulsa Doom, anybody? It would seem that the snake worshippers have marked Conan for death, not that he cares very much, because that's totally a two-way streak, and while hunting them down, he ends up finding the same eerie green light that's been dogging all of our other heroes. As Conan gets closer to investigate, we see that the snake worshippers are digging up a body. In fact, they're digging up the same body in different universes, James Allison's. It's what happens next, though, that's truly amazing. Whether by providence, fate, Crom, or maybe Allison himself, our 4 heroes are all teleported to the same place. And thus, as the comic comes to a close, the stage is set for one hell of a crossover. And so that was Conan the Barbarian, The Serpent War, issue number 1, and I gotta say, they get this newest crossover off to a rollicking start. It's abundantly clear that Jim Zub has an unabashed love for Conan, and indeed all the Robert E. Howard characters, and getting to bring them together is something of a dream come true. Also, by using Allison as a kind of plot device to get all these characters in one place and have it make sense is nothing short of a stroke of genius. Make no mistake, if you love pulp adventures, you are going to positively be head over heels for this comic, because it's one giant love letter to the works of Robert E. Howard and just the pulp genre in general. Having Moon Knight tag along makes a lot of sense too. He himself is very pulpy, and if we want to look at things historically, if there were no pulp magazines, pulp stories, there'd be no superheroes as we know it, and that's pretty crazy. Overall, I'd give this a much deserved 8.5 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing me right now, it means you watched to the end of the video, of which I will always be appreciative of. It really helps with retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. If you really like my work, you can check me out on social media. I have links down in the description of the video you're watching right now to all my different socials. I got the Twitter, I got the Instagram, I got the Facebook. I'm very easy to be reached, and if you follow me there, you can be the first to know about when a new video goes live. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. Bye-bye.